It's now 7:30. We're going to start the meeting. Welcome to the Central Queens Republican Club. Let's see, this meeting now is live. Today is June 16th. Oh, Mike is shot. Okay, tell it now.
This is more independent. I'm an independent Democrat, so I'm trying to be alongside. These are very
Okay, anyway, welcome to the Central Queens Republican Club. 7:30 right now. Oh, Julie, please come to the. I think we have you and also Martha to lead us off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm gonna give you a hug here.
We have to face the flag.
Okay, go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. At the reading of the mission statement, Jim, would you like to do from there or here? Okay.
The mission of this club shall be to advance the principles and substances of the Republican Party, to elect Republican candidates to public office, to strengthen the civic welfare of the community, and to engage in the vigorous exchange of ideas supporting Republican values.
Thank you very much. Roll call, let's see, since Martha's not in, let me go ahead and do the roll call. Let's see, Daniel Mayo here, David Abraham, Kathy Lally, Zia Liddy, David Kemp, Isaiah Vega,
Who's that?
Carol Crone, Sophia Orell, okay. James Schwartzman, Martha Rowan, Arkadiusz Tumbuski, Phil McManus, Juan Pagan, Zili Chow, Gerald Lally, Emily Zhang, Stephen Weiner, Jim Strawhorn, okay, Phil Grillo, Stan Norwalk, Ruben Cruz, Joel Solomon, Catherine Donnelly, and Greg Tyson. Okay, let's see. Now next, reading of the club minutes. Okay, let's see. Anyone would like to volunteer to read the club minutes? Okay, let me go ahead and read that there. This is from meeting minutes of the regular meeting of Central Queens Republican Club held on June 18th, 2026 at Grace Lutheran Church, 10315 Union Turnpike, Fort Sill, Queens, 11375. The meeting was called to order at 7:32. Sammy Ravello, president of the Dominican American Republican Club, led the Pledge of Allegiance. Jim Strawhorn read the mission statement and did the roll call. Sammy Ravello read the minutes of the May 21st, 2026 meeting. The minutes was adopted with one nay vote. Okay.
I'll read the minutes for you, Daddy.
Oh, okay. Well, past treasurer, okay, Alan Tomaszewski, in place of Sophia Orell, reported the bank balance of $3,932.01 with 32 paying members. Continuing.
So it's 52, but yes. Board members in attendance were Isaiah Vega, Stan Norwalk, Carol Crone, Daniel Mayo, Arkadiusz Tumbuski, and Jim Strawhorn. Absent were Martha Rowan, Ruben Cruz, Craig Tyson, Sophia Orell, Joel Solomon, Phil Grillo, Gerard Lally, Kathy Lally, James Washington, David Abraham, Zil Levy, David Kemp, Juan Pagan, Emily Zhang, Stephen Weiner, Catherine Donnelly, Zili Cho, and Phil McManus. 22 members and 15 non-members were in attendance. Featured speakers. Senator Bello started the Dominican American Republican Club in 2024 due to an upsurge of votes for President Trump in Bronx and Manhattan and uprising of gender identity legislations. Sam and his club is supporting Sherry Olivo, who has a Republican primary against Maria Diaz for Assembly in District 86 that has an 8-1 Democrat to Republican registration. Ronald Eith got up at 2:45 a.m. to join the ticker tape parade celebrating Knicks' national title win. Hearing Knicks in 5 go near go teared him up. Watching the city lit up in blue and orange felt like the reverse of what happened on 9/11, uniting us with joy instead of grief. Taisha informed the group that Queens Village Republican Club is doing its annual BBQ at Alabama Park on Sunday, August 2nd. The Queens County GOP is also having a barbecue on the same day in Mascot. They announced that the club's board opens the announcement part of the meeting for anyone to voice any thoughts and issues. Candace. Julie Milner, a civil rights attorney running for Queens Civil Court judge, is fighting the Democrat machine, putting up problematic and inexperienced judges who filed opposition. Julie believes judges should not run under a party name to be independent. She petitioned Brandon Castro before to secure 4,000 signatures, which she is against. under arts and culture to get on the November ballot. Unless if by some miracle I win the primary, but that's almost impossible against the machine. Well, sometimes impossible to make possible.
You made it possible.
Yeah. Paul Nichols, a lawyer and pastor, is running in the 32nd Assembly District on the Democrat and Answer Party. Lowering petition signature requirement and open primary are two of his legislative objectives. Denise Smith is running for state assembly in the 80th district, emphasizing education and nursing home issues. Irene Guanil is running the 82nd Assembly District on the Republican, conservative, and safe and affordable lines. Over 80,000 apartments are vacant, not including those owned by NYCHA. Irene proposes low financing rates and tax incentive rates for vacant rent-stabilized units to make them available. Government rules are not making us human. John Feltman asked why landlords could not get legal representation, evicting tenants while tenants get free legal representation. Melvin Rigotta, activist and community organizer, is running for Congress in the 7th District under Republican, conservative, and no Kings lines. He's promoting strong families and community to help people get out public assistance and become homeowners. Yahimia Harris, running for Assembly in 55th District, was not a Republican, but is trying on the no Kings line. As a woman and mother, she is advocating for youth and community. Love yourself. Live in reality, not in an illusion, she said. John Feldman won the 50-50 raffle. Richard MacArthur motioned to adjourn the meeting, and it was seconded by Isaiah Vega. The meeting ended at 9:38 p.m.
Thank you, Isaiah. Are there any comments or corrections to the minutes?
Really one.
Seeing none? Do I have a motion to adopt the minutes? Okay, Richard, Anton, okay, all in favor, says aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Okay, one nay vote. All right, moving on to the financial secretary's report. Sophia Worrell is not in at this moment. Joe Solomon, would you please read the numbers on her behalf?
The available balance is $3,749.48.
Thank you very much, Joe. And we have 53 paid members currently. Okay. All right, let me do some announcement sections. As you might have heard from the minutes, we sort of make the announcements pretty much open. Anyone can say anything they like, okay? As well as some events you'd like to propose. Anyone at this moment would like to make some announcements, either upcoming events or some comments? Martha, please. Okay, Martha Flores-Vasquez, she is the district leader from 40th Assembly District, Central Flushing. This is the first time she's coming to a Republican club. So, please.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here and say hello to people who are human beings. So for me, it's not so much about the party, it's about people. And in my district, there's a big issue right now, and that issue is human trafficking and prostitution. On August 1st, I plan to have a big rally at 12 noon in the heart of the human trafficking. And if I were to describe to you what's going on, you would be in shock, just as I am in shock. And I feel that we need to protect these ladies. I know Julie has been an advocate in the past when I've spoken about it. And I think we need to protect our community, protect the people that live in it, and also protect the women that are being forced to do what they're doing. Because I don't think that anybody would really want to prostitute themselves willingly. I really don't believe that. So, as an honorable district leader elected for 25 years, I've been elected for 25 years, and I've gotten along with everyone. As a matter of fact, one of the greatest council members, I don't know if anybody here remembers Peter Poole. When Peter Poole started, he was a Republican, and then he became a Democrat. He won in a Democratic district, and then as a Republican. So, as Julie said before, she didn't know if she's going to win, but she did. The manager said she didn't know she was going to win, but she did. I think that having the courage to participate, having the courage to be a part of fixing the current problems, it's very honorable. So all of you are honorable, and I give you guys a round of applause. You should give yourself a round of applause for being here. And thank you for this opportunity and keep up the good work.
Where's your rally exactly?
The rally is in Flushing, Queens, off Roosevelt on 40th Road,
What time?
12 o'clock. And I will share that flyer with everybody, and I will share it with Danny so he can share it with you.
Is August 2nd a weekday or a weekend?
It's on Saturdays, a weekend, and there's an open letter to all the DAs in the 5 boroughs, to Governor Hochul, all who are in law enforcement. Like, this is really huge. I know Roosevelt Avenue in Flushing, Jackson Heights, East Elmhurst has been doing a good job, but wait till you see what I'm gonna do in my district. Okay? Thank you. And I hope they model it. That's why I'm inviting DAs from all the boroughs. Thank you.
So any questions?
Any questions? Yes.
Usually people talk about the harms of tobacco, the harms of different negative externalities for prostitution. Do you have any pamphlets regarding the harms of prostitution, how it spreads STDs, like increased HIV?
Yes, there will be a table. Just a week ago, I was doing a block party with a block association in Brooklyn, because I'm trying to take this to all the boroughs, and I work closely with DA Gonzalez in Brooklyn, and we had pamphlets on everything. I didn't bring them with me today, but the next time I promise that I will bring them. Okay?
I'd be really grateful to learn more about this, because I'm opposed to prostitution.
Thank you. Show up, because we need people in numbers. We're also gonna have religious leaders. Okay?
Anyone else would like to make some announcements or some comments? Ronald?
Announcement? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Martha. And we'll go ahead in our next folks' email, post to the flyer she sent me.
How's it going, everyone? And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Ronald Eith. Recently, in the last couple of months, I've started participating and working with Project Civica. I'm sure many of you are familiar with Steve Gillen and his affiliation with the organization. I've started working with them also. And for those of you that don't know Project Civica, their main thing is being an election watchdog. So we have been looking into the voter rolls of New York State, and we have found some interesting stuff, interesting facts and data. For example, in the 5 boroughs alone, we've had almost 100. We found almost 100,000 duplicate voter records. So in Queens alone, there's 25,000 duplicate voter records. There are non-citizens voting in the state, and we have just to give everyone an update. We do have meetings monthly. So our monthly meeting, our weekly meetings are bi-weekly right now. The next meeting for that is, well, all of them are online. The next meeting for the state meetings is on July 23rd, Thursday. I'll put in the group chat, the exact link for that. But we also have a precinct strategy, which is, the goal is to ensure that we have committeemen sitting on each precinct, ensuring that we have committeemen in each precinct and they're not empty precincts for people to be involved. And then we also have a Queens and Long Island strategy to ensure that we have people mobilizing and organizing in Queens and Long Island. Thank you very much. I'll put the information in our group chat.
Thank you very much, Ronald. Any questions for Ronald? Okay, anyone else want to make some announcements before we get to the speakers? I have a couple more announcements there. As most of you may know, the primary result has been certified Tuesday. There are still several outstanding races. One of them, which we are following, is a Republican primary in Brooklyn, Bernard Weisselberg versus Carl Collar, to which Eduardo was, as so as myself, we were there doing the manual recount yesterday. The preliminary has somewhat completed, but the judge is still saying he wants to look at the numbers tomorrow. So that race has not yet been called. The difference at the close of the primary was about 14 votes. So we'll see out of about 1,200 casts. There are still other Democrat primaries as well that has not yet been called. It's certainly, once it's been official for the other races, I will send that out in the email so everyone will know about the results and who's going to be on the general election ballot. Okay, there's also another announcement. Some of you may know one of the club members, Arlene Ross. Okay, she was one when we started the club. The current version, okay, about 6 years ago, she was one of the members. And Arlene passed away just a couple of days ago. And her service is going to be held tomorrow at Swartz Memorial, 9:30, for those who are interested in going. Swartz Memorial is on Queens Boulevard, very close to the Pinnacle apartment. So it's not too far away. It's okay. Any other announcements before we get to the speakers? Okay, let's get to the speakers. I'd like to start off with basically the one speaker who said it would be a miracle if she's here tonight. She said that at this meeting 1 week ago, 1 month ago, and we put in the minutes, and not anticipating that miracle has happened. So, Julie Milner, would you please?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you, everybody. I wanted to come here tonight to be the first club that I visit after my miraculous primary win. I'm really excited because these seats belong to we the people, and we got one of them back. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep coming to the club. Keep getting signatures for good people. Keep giving out cards for good people. Make some friends on the other side, the moderate Democrats who are fighting hard too to restore democracy. So I wanted to come back tonight with some other news. So I won the Democratic primary, but I've also been cross-endorsed by the Republicans. And I wanted to let Danny be the first one to know. So thank you guys. I'm not going to take up any more time, and I'm interested in hearing the rest of the speakers.
Thank you very much, Julie, and congratulations on winning the primary. And that was a 2 out of 4 candidates, and she was the second of the top 2. Another judgeship that has been endorsed recently is David Bellon. Okay, David, would you like to talk about candidacy for the municipal court judge on the Republican line?
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm Dave Bellon. Appreciate everybody coming. Good to see everyone. Congratulations. So I don't want to take too much time. It actually came very quickly yesterday that I've been endorsed for the 4th Municipal District. And there's one person in this room that I really have to thank more than anyone, and that would be Dan. So thank you very much. And Really does a great job. And so, thinking about judgeships, and thinking about judging, and being a litigator for 21 years, it's coming up again, and you think about what it actually would take to be a decent judge, and a Republican judge. So we can't talk about the issues, obviously, but one thing that I have to say, being in a courtroom, appreciating a certain type of judges would be this: just fair, consistency, and giving everyone a chance. I did hear read one of the Democratic judges that won their primary said that she doesn't judge anybody that comes into her courtroom. I sort of took a little bit of offense to that, because you're not really judging people, you're really just applying facts to law. So if this judge is actually reading people and thinking that she could tell their case by what they look like or their ethnicity, that's going to be a little bit of an issue. So thank you very much. I won't take up much of your time, and I appreciate it. And again, thank you, Danny.
Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you. Okay, the next candidate I'd like to introduce, he's been to our club several times. And it's not only being that he's a great speaker, he's a great politician, but the problem is the Republicans, the establishment doesn't recognize him for who he is. So please, Sharpe, okay, who ran for governor. He tried to run on the Republican line. He was not successful in petitioning, but he's tried to do it on the third party line. And I'll let him tell you the rest of the story.
Hey everyone, how are you? I'm going to go live here because I always try to go live for a very important reason. I'm good, I got it. It's my daughter, by the way.
Hi, Ms. Sharpe. And her first name?
Her first name is Josie.
Hey, Josie. Welcome. Josie, you're welcome to come front. Go ahead.
I'm gonna be taking pictures.
Okay.
So I can.
So guys, I want to say thank you so much for having me here today. Now, I have tried to make change in New York State many times. I ran in 2018, for those of you who don't know, I ran as a Libertarian, and I was able to get ballot access to the Libertarian Party in 2018. Sadly then, Mr. Cuomo, our former governor, His Majesty King Cuomo, second of his name, all hail, he decided that he was going to change all the rules and trash my party, and he did. Very effective, got rid of my party. So I decided to do it again in 2022. And at that point I thought, you know what, maybe we'll make a coalition. I was thinking in 2022 what Trump was thinking in 2024. In 2024, Trump did something brilliant. Those of you who remember, he put that coalition together. He had the Tulsi Gabbard, he had the RFK Jr., he had the Elon Musk, he put them all together, and that's the #1 reason why he was able to win all 7 swing states and to beat Kamala Harris in the popular vote, because of that coalition. I knew that, and I thought, let's do it in 2022. How are we going to beat Kathy Hochul when we got a state that's massively Democratic, when we got a machine, a Democratic machine, so let's make that happen in 2022. Yeah, that didn't go as planned. Republican Party did not want me to be around. They got rid of me, took me off the ballot. 2026, I come back and I go, this time, okay, this time I got it. I've made mistakes in the past, but this time I got it. I am going to run in the Republican primary. This time, Republicans will see me as Republican. They'll put me on a line. I'll also get a Libertarian line. I'll get a Conservative line. I'll have 3 or 4 different groups of people together. We'll make a coalition, and we'll beat Kathy Hochul. That was my concept. Why did I say that? Because Trump had just taught us this 2 years earlier. So I said, let's copy. This makes sense. Let's do this. I'm in. And sadly, the Republican establishment told me no. Did not want to hear it. Now, here's the thing that we have to understand in this state. The Democrats run this state. Some people get mad at that. They don't want to hear it. I get it. But it's still true. So we have to fix this. Right now, if you look at what's happening across our state, 23% of our electorate is Republican. 23%. Outgunned 3-1. No Republican has won any statewide office in this state, not AG, not senator, not governor, in 24 years. My daughters are 22 and 16. They've never seen a Republican at the head of the state. And it's only getting worse. Florida is now a red state because of us. That's true. They used to be a swing state. Some of you remember, Florida used to be a swing state. Not anymore. You're laughing because you remember. Used to be true. Not anymore. Say again?
Gore Bush.
Yeah, exactly. Gore Bush, you remember? Not anymore. New Yorkers went down and turned it red. Why am I telling you this? To make you feel sad? No. I'm telling you to understand the answer is coalition. The answer is getting independents together. The answer is getting pissed off Democrats together. The answer is getting Republicans together to beat the establishment Democrats. That is the answer. We can't do this if establishment Republicans stop us. You might go, but Larry, the Republicans, they want to win. No, they don't. Stop. Thank you for clapping. No, they don't. They don't want to win.
100%.
You get it. They don't want to win. They don't want to be responsible for the state. I get it. The state's a disaster. I understand that. But someone's got to fix it. I am prepared to fix it. That's why I run for office. That's why I put my ideas out there. That's why I'm here. How many times now? That's why I keep coming back every single time. That's why I cross the state. For those of you who know, I've done over 800 events across this state. Live events, just like this. Over 800 in the past 8 years. I keep going back and forth, meeting people, trying to convince them that this is the only answer to fix this state. If we don't do it, it destroys the entire nation. The garbage that happens here goes across the entire state, goes across the entire nation. We have to fix it here, and coalition is the only answer. How do I know they don't want to win? I will ask you right now, the current Republican running for governor right now, what's his plan to get independence? Thank you, nothing.
Zero.
Thank you, zero. What's his plan to get Democrats?
Zero.
Zero, nothing, thank you, nothing. He's not even trying. How are you gonna win if you can't get independents and Democrats? Now I know I can, because when I ran, I know 30% of people voted for me were registered Democrats, 30% registered independents or no party, and 40% were Republicans. Go ahead.
Well, he said he's running on pro-choice, so isn't that a way of trying to get some Democrat votes?
Isn't Kathy Hochul pro-choice?
I understand that, but he's running on a pro-choice platform, which
So-
is different
so to be
from a
clear-
regular Republican like Lee Zeldin did in the past.
I hear what you're saying. This is an answer he said. He said, I'm running on pro-choice. Great. How many New Yorkers are worried about pro-choice? Thank you, none. The state, it's codified in our law, it's codified in our Constitution. We just passed that stupid ballot initiative recently to codify it even more. Done. It is a cultural issue now. Abortion has become a cultural issue now. We have to fight it on a cultural issue now. We can't fight it in law anymore. We've got to fight a cultural issue now. It's a moot point, it means nothing. That's him trying to get you to give him money. That's all that is. That's Blakeman trying to get you to give him money. See, you see, yes,
That's
sir.
all he wants to do, it's a money grab.
That's all it is, a money grab.
The Republican Party is nothing but a money grab.
True,
I
nothing but a money
watched
grab.
everybody, Vicky Paladino and all the Republicans, they endorsed a woman by the name of Ye-Ten Chu.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she was a registered Democrat. The Republican Party, I'm talking Tony,
Yep.
Michael Randino in the Bronx, the chairs. They endorsed Mozzie Phillips for George Santos's Republican seat, and Mozzie Phillips was a registered Democrat
Okay.
at the time of the special
I'll
election.
up you one. They endorsed Andrew Cuomo. They endorsed Andrew Cuomo.
Andrew Cuomo had the only realistic shot to win.
Doesn't matter. They couldn't find a better Republican.
No, they endorsed Curtis Sliwa, who got 7.2%.
Thank you. That is my problem. You hit it perfectly. 7.2%. That's the Republican here. The answer is coalition. I know you hear me scream this from the rooftops because it is the only answer. Stop believing the Republican establishment in this state wants to win. They don't. They are happy to raise money. They are happy to keep those local jobs. They're happy. Know how many people they primary out? Know how many people they literally sue off the ballot? Yeah, you see it all the time. Republicans are suing other Republicans off the ballot to ensure you do not have choice. So what keeps happening? The Conservative Party has no power in this state. They just, I guess we're going to back the Republican again because they're going to lose their ballot access. That's the system. What am I telling you to do? I'm telling you to push back on the Republican establishment. That's what I'm telling you to do.
100%.
You have to push back on your Republican leadership. And you have to tell them you want choice, you want real people running, you want people who will be exciting, you want people who want to win, you want people who have answers. I will ask you right now, Bruce Blakeman, what is his plan to fix New York State? Thank you, nothing. Nothing. Not a thing. No answer. Kathy Hochul's going to win again if we don't find someone who can actually move people. It's not him. He doesn't care. He never did care. How do I know? I sat with him to see if I could make a deal with him. He told me to leave. So no, I know. Go ahead.
Unless I'm mistaken, from my understanding, based on your post article, I could be wrong, is that Bruce Blakeman raised $11 million for his campaign. I imagine you're also on the ballot.
I'm not a ballot. You know, I'm in a lawsuit now.
Okay, so let's say you get on the ballot.
Yep.
How much money have you raised so far to make it a competitive race?
It will not be a competitive race. It will not. The Republican Party has decided that it wants to run and lose, and it will run and lose. They're happy coming in second, and they'll come in second. That will happen. I'll come in third. That will happen. I'll come in third. Unless something very important happens, which you may not know. How it actually works in New York State. If you take matching funds, you must debate. Kathy Hochul did not take matching funds. I'm not joking. Kathy Hochul raises so much money on her own She did not take matching funds. Republicans said they were against matching funds. Remember that? And he's the only one taking them. I'm not making this up, that's true. To your point, my friend, he just won that cash grab. And he's taking your taxpayer dollars. She didn't take it, she didn't have to. Neither did Cuomo. Cuomo raised so much he didn't have to take it. He didn't take matching funds. So if debate time comes, it will be me against Blakeman, or he will have to give his money back. He won't give his money back. He will debate me. I will devastate him.
Thank you.
He will have no chance. He will be devastated. I hope you're watching. You will be devastated. He will be devastated. How do I know that? Because to this day, his website is one page with no policies. I'm not joking. To this day, if you Google him right now, one page website, no policies. Who's his lieutenant governor? Yeah, you don't even know.
The sheriff.
Some sheriff.
FBI guy.
Yeah, some guy. You have no idea. Exactly right. So he'll be destroyed. If that happens, I have a shot at winning. Assuming that we get the debate, I can win this thing. Without that, it can be challenging. But either way, what's the difference? If I am able to get if I get an actual party for next cycle, now I'm on the ballot. Now I can fight to get the Republican line. Now I can build my coalition. Now we can win. That is the issue. Republicans are 2 cycles away from no longer being able to run candidates in this state, statewide anymore. There will not be. How do I know that? Happened in New Mexico, happened in Nebraska already. Nebraska, Democrats don't even run statewide because the Republicans control the state so much. Utah, Democrats do not run statewide candidates. Independents run or nobody runs. Or for statewide, for Senate. New York is coming that way. Because think about it. Who fought Blakeman in the primary this year? Nobody. Nobody wants this job.
Please drop down. Please drop down.
Yes, she didn't want this job either. Thank you. Nobody wants it. It's unwinnable. Unless you are just a grifter making money, my friend, unless you just want to grift, you don't do it. Blakeman's fine grifting. He doesn't mind at all. He's a Nepo baby. And we have 2 things. We got a Nepo baby on the right and we got DEI on the left. That's what we got. That's what we're fighting with right now. So he has no problem grifting, so he will grift. You have to push back on this. If you don't push back, they'll do it again and again and again. How do I know this? All he does is yell, Mamdani bad, Hochul bad. We've been yelling Mamdani bad for a long time. He's still governor. I mean, he's still mayor. Here's the worst part. Democrats have been yelling Trump bad for, 12 years now? They called him every name known in the book. You make up a name, they called him that. President twice. But what does it do? But they raised lots of money. Remember, Harris, Kamala, she raised $1 billion. Yelling orange man bad. Not a policy on her website. Not an idea to fix anything. She yelled orange man bad and raised $1 billion. I'm not making this up. You know it's true. Blakeman will yell Mamdani bad, Hochul bad. He'll raise $10, $12 million, put it in his pocket, walk away. Yes, go ahead.
And let me, the question to you is that, let's say you get back on the ballot in this lawsuit, who is your lieutenant governor candidate, and do you have a selection of attorney general candidate, U.S. Senate candidates who you're also working on the same line with?
No, I'm actually happy with the, I'm very much happy with the Republican, the controller. I think Hernandez is great. I would happily take him on board, he's great. I do have a lieutenant governor, yes, and Ms. Shannon Joyce out of Western New York, yes I do. So I do have a lieutenant governor. She's very popular in Western New York, so yes. I do not have an AG candidate. I do not. So.
Senate.
I'm sorry?
Senate.
No, I'm not interested at all. A ballot access is only for lieutenant governor. This is a ballot access race for me.
Okay.
It's a party race. There is no ballot access or party given for a senatorial candidate, so I don't have one. Does that answer your question?
Thank you for calling me out.
Yes? Yeah. Good.
I have a question.
I got a question. What are your thoughts about Sarita Kamatreni?
What do you mean by that?
As an Attorney General candidate, Sarita.
She's mediocre at best. Dara was a far better choice that the party should have made. She's focused on things that people aren't concerned about. She's focused heavily on crime. That's a DA's job. So that should be secondary for her. Her job should be getting businesses back in New York State. She should be focusing on things like regulation, and that's what Dara was talking about. So Sarita is a weak choice for the Republicans. They should have picked Dara, who's a much better choice. He would be focusing on getting business back into New York more than crime. Crime, focus on DAs. Let the DAs focus on the crime, push the DAs. The governor can push DAs also. Let her deal with getting business back into New York State. She's not doing that, so I'm not happy with her now. Did I answer your question? Any other questions?
You mentioned before that,
Being that Blakeman accepted the matching funds,
Yep.
he has to debate.
Correct.
I just heard you say something, and I'm sorry, I came a little late, that you're not on the ballot?
Correct. I am currently in the middle of a federal lawsuit to get on the ballot. Hopefully that will be resolved in the next 30 days. So I am the only person, by the way, in the entire country who has won ballot access in 2018 under the old rules, lost them under the new rules in 2022, and is still running in 2026. I'm the only person in the country who has standing to win this argument. That's why I'm suing.
Well, I wish you luck getting back on the ballot, and then if you do get on the ballot, Blakeman has to debate you.
Correct.
Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Wonderful, go
Yes,
ahead.
absolutely. Or he can give the money back, but he won't.
do that.
He won't do that.
Never do that.
Yeah, he'll never do that.
Can you tell us what the basis of your lawsuit is exactly?
Yes, absolutely. Since 2020, when they changed the rules, no independent candidate for governor or president has made it on the ballot. None. Has not happened. RFK Jr. couldn't make it on the ballot. Now, you may or may not like RFK Jr., but he's a Kennedy
That's right.
in New York State, and he spent $1 million, and he could not get on the ballot. Again, you don't have to like Kennedy, but you know he's a viable candidate and should have been an option for people to vote for on the ballot, and he couldn't make it. I couldn't make it. I've been on the ballot before. I got 100,000 votes last time I ran. I've been on Joe Rogan. I raised $1 million. I can't be on the ballot. According to New York State, we can't. Not just that, Lee Zeldin couldn't make the ballot. I'm not joking. Lee Zeldin in 2022 tried to get an independent line, couldn't do it, had to make 11,000 Xerox photocopies. Think I'm making it up? Look at the website xeroxzeldin.com. I'm not joking. Look what happened. No one can make it. The fact that no independent candidates can make it on the ballot shows that this is unconstitutional. What you've just done is made only Republicans and Democrats to win, but not just that. The things I must jump through, the Democrats and Republicans never had to. They just got on it because Democrats and Republicans. They never had to go through what I had to go through. So I have to drop $500,000 to get in the ballot. They don't. Unconstitutional. That is the basis of my lawsuit. Does that make sense? Yes, so I want to go back to your rules.
Is the signature requirements greater for an independent than a Democrat vote? I know it's 15,000 for.
Democrats, Republicans are just on the ballot.
They're just on the ballot.
Just on the ballot.
They don't have to pass signature.
Correct. If I want to get the ballot, I have to get 40, it used to be 15,000 signatures, which is not a crazy amount. It's a lot, but it's not crazy. People used to get on the ballot, it was doable. And it was in the summer when there were things like, as an example, fairs and things, you can go out and meet people, that kind of thing. They changed the rules from 15,000 to 45,000 during the COVID lockdowns and moved it into April, where in some parts of the state there are still snowstorms. It is literally impossible. It cannot be done. It cannot be done. So that was the change. And I'm saying go back to your rules. It was still tough, but it was doable. You could do it. If enough people, you could do it. Greens can't get on. In fact, so bad, the Greens Libertarians didn't even bother trying. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, you have to get like 100 signatures for congressional district, or is it just?
You have to get 500 in half the congressional districts. And they did it, by the way, in 2022. If you remember, we had to redistrict. The time when I was doing it in 2022, literally there were no congressional districts. And the judges didn't care. I wish I was joking. There were none, because we had to redistrict. So yes.
When do you expect an answer on the lawsuit? The election's in November.
I know, the election's in November, you're right. I hope they have an answer in 30 days. That is my hope. Yes, they've done it before. We've had people on the ballot as late as October. We've done it before as October. I hope to get on by August or September. The reality of it is, for those of you who don't know, I already have a team and money ready to go. So once I'm on the ballot, we go right back into campaign mode again. So we have momentum already, which is ready to go. It's hard for me to campaign now because I'm not on the ballot yet. Once I'm on the ballot, we go back to momentum. So no problem. And debates will be in October. So I'll be on the ballot in time for the debates. That's all that matters. That's, by the way, is how Jesse Ventura won. The last independent governor, was Jesse Ventura, for those of you who remember, in Minnesota. And how he did it was, he had an amazing debate performance, and he became the next governor of Minnesota as independent. So I hope to copy him. Say again? He was Jesse the Body Ventura. He was also a short-time action hero actor in the 80s also. Also true. Yes. Any other questions or comments?
How many debates?
Only one. Only one's required. They may do more, but that's optional. They may do more, but that'll be optional.
He won't give you more than one.
No, he won't. He won't. He won't at all. If he debates once, he's finished.
That's it.
He's gonna come in 30, may quit. If he actually drops out and gets sick, I can only hope I will take over and have a chance of actually winning. So that's my only hope, but who knows what will happen. Look, the reality of it is, I have to keep fighting, and here's the reason why. No one else is.
Right.
There is no one else. Who else is running for governor? Thank you. No one else is fighting. You can watch my interview on Joe Rogan. You can watch my interview on all, Google Larry Sharpe. You will see my plans. I tell you exactly how I'm going to fix this. And for you guys who are geeks, I'm not joking. You can go to my Larry Sharpe YouTube page. Type in 8 hours. I literally did 8 hours live on how to fix every aspect of New York State. It is time-stamped, so if you guys go to whatever you care about, and I expressed how we can fix New York State. I am a policy monster. I know how to fix this state. I can do so. If you want to know, just check me out. You'll find it. Go ahead.
And, Mr. Sharpe, so as if you were to be a gubernatorial candidate, what are your following policy issues?
Say again?
What would be your policy issues?
As I just said, I have 8 hours and I can talk forever on it, but I'll give you a couple of big ones that matter right now. You ready? I'll give you a couple of big ones. Number one, New York State should have a sovereign fund. New York State should and can have a sovereign fund. Norway has one, Singapore has one. RFK Jr. and Trump talked about an American sovereign fund back in 2024 and never made it happen. We built out a sovereign fund in New York State within 2 years that can pay directly for education. From the sovereign, which is a separate company with a separate CEO and a separate board, so the government can't take the money, they pay for education. If they pay for education directly, why do we have school tax? We don't need it. For most people across New York State, school tax is about half of your property tax, give or take, depending on where you live. It's about 50%. 50% reduction in property tax overnight. That happens in New York State. Who else talks about that? No one. I discussed that. Not just that. Now what happens? No more federal, no more state movement into schools. What does that mean? Local people control local schools. Local people control local schools. You can go on your school board and get civics back in if you want to. You can go on your school board, thank you, you clap for that, yes. You can get home ec if you want to. You can get Sharpe if you want to. You're not tied to the stupid rules and regulations that the federal government comes up and destroys our schools. That now we're ranked 38th or 40th and we drop 40 grand per year. That goes away. That's number one. I think that's going to. Number two, nuclear energy here in New York State. Yes, Blakeman goes, we're going to be fracking. There are 14 counties in New York State where you can frack. All 14 have voted against fracking. I'm not making that up, that's true. Fracking cannot happen in New York State. The local people don't want it. Blakeman doesn't know because he doesn't care. There's no real answer for him. It can't be done. Mine is nuclear energy. There are about 12 sites right now in New York State you can pop a nuclear plant in right away. Within 2 years, up and running. But here's the key on how you do it. You don't let the government run the nuclear power plant. Nuclear power plant is run by 2 types of people, cut in half. 50% owned by local people, either the municipality or the county, but not owned by the government. Individual residents, you have 50% ownership in that nuclear power plant. Alaska does a similar thing with their energy in Alaska, right? So you have ownership, not purchase, because then it can be bought out. The ownership is there because of residency. If you leave, you lose ownership. But if you move in, they gain ownership. You have voting rights. You decide what happens with energy. You want to sell it to the Canadians? You want to give it to the AI company? You vote. You want to get a cut of that at the end and put a check in your pocket? You can. You want to build a bank, you build like a Main Street? You may. Up to you. All of a sudden now we have energy. We have energy, maybe Micron actually comes to us. Micron ain't coming to us now. Sure. Remember Micron? Remember how Kathy Holt knows Micron's coming? Where's that Micron job? Not one Micron job. She bought that 3 years ago. Why? We don't have any energy.
Sir, can I interrupt you a second?
Yes, I'm sorry, I want to answer. Go ahead, please. Hold on, did I answer a couple of your questions at least? Yes, so I can go on forever. Go ahead.
Ms. Hochul just made an announcement that you were postponed for at least a year.
Yep.
Building any data centers.
Yep.
Can you tell me what you would do?
100%, that is a terrible idea. Many reasons why it's a terrible idea. Number one, she just decides. And we're okay with it. What happens when she says, not only can we not build data centers, we can't build, I don't know, we can't build hospitals. Or we can't build schools. Or we can't build, I don't know, whatever, entertainment centers. How can any governor just go, you may not build something? And we sit there and say it's okay. So the executive order itself is a horrible precedent, should not be done, terrible idea. But let's move on to the actual idea of centers. I get why people don't want to have centers near them. It makes total sense. I understand it. It sucks up the energy, it sucks up the water, they get nothing from it. Which is why we just hear me say, nuclear energy. Put a nuclear power plant in an area, connect the AI directly to the nuclear power plant, and the local people get a cut of the money. Changes everything. Now you take your AI data center, you click it right to the nuclear power plant, doesn't affect our grid, no one's affected, and the local people, they're able to vote on where the energy goes. They can vote on which AI company gets used. They can vote on where the money goes afterwards. Not just that, with all that nuclear energy, they can clean the water. New York State has the most fresh water. I think maybe Minnesota might have more than us. But we're either one or two with the amount of fresh water we have in the entire nation. New York State has lakes and tons of rivers and tons of rain. We can clean our water. With nuclear energy, we can. Desalination plants, we can use that too down here in the city, in the Bronx, on Long Island. We can absolutely do it. So the answer is nuclear energy. Because what she's going to have right now is all those people who want to build these data centers, okay, they're not going to build them here, they're going to build them someplace else.
They would also pay a lot of the money for these other companies to put in New York.
Yes, of course, New York's a perfect spot. We have tons of space, tons of fresh water. Just make them build a nuclear power plant themselves, and then give us a cut. Elon Musk was talking about that. Andrew Yang was talking about this years ago, in 2020, 2022. I remember the idea of an AI dividend. Remember that idea they were talking about back in 2020, 2022? These ideas I'm talking about have been ideas for years. You can still do them. I'm telling you how you implement them. That's how you get that dividend. That's how people get the cash back. Imagine if you live in an environment, we have a nuclear power plant where you have 50% ownership in it, and you decide to give yourselves a check every year, like the Alaskans do. To the point where now you're selling enough energy to Canada or Pennsylvania to where you can now live with a family with one paycheck. That's not a thing now. Imagine if it was. A young couple could survive on one paycheck because nuclear power plants putting cash in their pocket. Who talks about that? No one does. Kathy Hochul says, I'm going to save you, however, and Blakeman goes, Mom, Daddy, communism, whatever stupid stuff he says. So I can't pay my rent, and Blakeman's answer is communism bad. That's his answer. I can't find a girlfriend or a boyfriend. I can't move out of my mom's house. I'm trying to make my lifestyle. I want to find a girlfriend and get married. I can't do that in this state. It's impossible. I got to move to Florida, Tennessee. Kathy Hochul's answer is, get rid of the guns, whatever that means. And Blakeman says, well, let me give you a history lesson on communism. They want answers. Sadly, that's why Mamdani is our mayor. There's two reasons why he's our mayor. One, he has answers. Bad answers, but he has answers. And number two, matching funds. New York City gave him $12 million. That kind of helped. Go ahead.
You had, a few minutes ago, you had said a sovereign fund.
Yes.
That would provide, pay for education.
True.
Where would the money come from?
Yes, the money from a sovereign fund comes from several places. You could take out a loan against our tax base, that's option one. You could do land leases, option two. You could do land selling, option three. But not just that, it's a fund where people could actually invest. So you can encourage the big businesses right now who are buying up plots of land for like solar farms and things like that, and all the big businesses, they're buying up all the rental houses. Have them instead put money into the sovereign fund, give them a dividend for the first 5 or 10 years. You can fill it that way too. You can fill it in theory with cryptocurrency if you wanted to. That's what Orkin Jr. was talking about. You can fill it with hard currency if you wanted to. That's what Trump was talking about. There's many ways you can fill that sovereign fund.
So we have to go into debt then?
We're already in debt.
I know, but right now, the way my understanding of how government finances things, civil service salaries, which is the bulk of government spending, comes directly from the taxpayer But if government makes a capital expense, they build a new school, they
Yep.
buy a fire truck or a sanitation truck, that, or these stupid prisons, these stupid borough jails that we're gonna be having soon, government sells bonds to pay for those things. So it sounds like that's how you wanna finance it.
It's not what I said at all. Did I mention bombs once?
Well, that, if you did say borrow against the
I
tax.
said you could be, that's one option, you could, right? You can mix and match, of course you could. It depends on what our controller would say. Now, I spoke to Joe Hernandez about this. He's on board 100%. He thinks it's a great idea. That's one reason why I love Hernandez. It could be done. It's challenging, but you could do it with selling land. You could do it with land leases. You could do that too. You could borrow. All these are all options. The answer, though, of course, which I'll always give you is, if you don't like that answer, what's your answer? Right now, the answer is more debt, larger budget. And that's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. I can't accept that already. Remember something. We have less people than Florida and double their budget. I'm not making that up. We have less people than Florida and double their budget. If we don't find ways to raise money, a sovereign fund is the best way. We can see it around the entire world. We're gonna go into decay. And eventually the state goes under. And when the state goes under, the federal government takes it over. I'm not okay with that.
The reason why Florida has a much smaller budget than us, they don't have to spend much money heating their buildings because of their weather. Their roads, they don't have to fix. The roads are much cheaper to maintain than ours because they don't have a winter.
Roads are maybe 1% of our budget, if that. Stop. They're maybe 1% of our budget. Stop that with the road stuff. I heard it before. Maybe 1% of our budget, if that. Maybe. And not just that they have air conditioning all day long. They don't have heat, they have AC. They have AC all the time. That's propaganda, my friend. That's not true. Propaganda. Go ahead.
Just as a minor matter, and nitpicking.
Oh my God, nitpicking. I like nitpicking.
Who lives in Florida.
Yep.
He tells me that the roads are terrible.
Yep.
So it might very well be that they're economizing the wrong way.
Bingo.
I don't know about you, but I complain like hell in our own city when I get bumped.
Yep. Absolutely. Great. Guys, here's what I want to tell you. I don't mean to be a bummer. Not my goal. I'm trying to give us some hope. Right now, what I see currently is the sixth Republican statewide loss in a row. Every 2 years, we lose. The sixth in a row. And them still saying, this is our year, give me money. This is not our year. The state is now 22% Republican for the voter base. More and more people are becoming, there's more independents in this state than Republicans. That's a fact, I'm not making it up. And Democrats are still growing, and right now, guys like Mamdani and Hochul are still popular. Right now, Hochul's at about 48% approval rating. When she won last time, she's at 38%. She's more popular than when she won last time. Right now, Mamdani, amongst Democrats, is about 64% popularity among Democrats. And in New York City, they're 7-1 in our city.
He's going to win re-election.
He's going to win re-election.
100%.
Absolutely he will.
And he's horrible.
The only way we're going to fix this is through coalition. I am asking you to put pressure on your Republican leadership. Stop them from keeping the exact same thing every single year. Don't believe that this is our year. Garbage. Not true. It's a lie. It's propaganda. There is no way.
Stop giving them the money.
Stop giving them money until they allow the rebels. Look, there are rebels who run with the Republican Party. Lots of them. They're the exciting ones. They're the ones that people want to vote. I go upstate, this place upstate, where only 1 in 6 people vote because they've given up. I see it everywhere. The rebels that are in our cities, the rebels that are in our party, we have to let them run in the primary and win. Who was a rebel in 2016? Trump was.
Absolutely.
Who was a rebel in 2016 Democrats? Bernie was. These people are still popular. We want a rebel. Push your Republican leadership to let the rebels in, because even if they lose, they push the establishment guys to the right spot. The rebels matter. I don't care how crazy they are. I don't care how nutty they are. They matter. They get people excited. They will get people to vote. They will give us new ideas. They can fix this state.
And can I tell you just briefly there?
Yes,
we
yes,
can
yes.
continue. I'd like to have, because Marty Dolan needs to be leaving, so.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
And you can come back right after him.
No worries, guys, I wanna say thank you so much for giving me your time. I appreciate it tremendously. RadioSharp.com. I hope to see you guys soon, thank you.
I mean, you can still continue later if you like. Marty, please, come in. So you came this far, I don't want you to leave. Anyway, Marty Dolan.
I talked enough, thank you.
Marty Dolan ran against AOC, so it's very important. So please.
Hey, everybody. Danny said it right, but I didn't just run against AOC, I ran against AOC twice on the ballot. Hey, Joe, where were you? Judge.
Would you please?
And I also ran against Jamal Bowman in the 16th district, and I ran against Jemani Williams for public advocate last year. So it's probably fair to say that I am the most anti-socialist Democrat that you would ever meet. But I am a Democrat, and I could talk about a couple of things and then just get to your questions. So the question you might be asking is, are there any good Democrats?
Yeah, there are some.
And I don't think that you have to kind of look past personalities and get to principles. So when I think about what I'm trying to do, and what the Republicans are doing, what the Democrats are doing, and what I call the socialists, the far left is doing, I want to use a couple of examples. So there's things in life that are perfectly obvious. It's obvious you should save for your retirement. Okay? It's obvious you should save for a rainy day. And it's obvious you should get a good education and raise the value of your labor. The Republican answer to all three of those would be, it's so obvious that we don't need to tell the people to do that. Just let them do it. The Democratic answer, this is why I'm a Democrat, is we have things like retirement, we have a social security system. Now, the reason we have a social security system is that even though it's obvious that people should save for retirement, they just didn't. There was no system to do it. So that's one. There's unemployment insurance. It's obvious you should save for a rainy day. So the Democrats have the system called Save for a Rainy Day called unemployment insurance. And we have a lot of great systems around the United States, especially in New York State. There's what we call the state university systems. So in the state university system, what happens is if the cost of education is this much, if you live in the state, you pay less. And then what happens is you go into college, you're worth 15 or 20 bucks an hour, and you come out and you're worth more. And you've paid less to do it. The state has subsidized your education. Guess what? You instead of earning 40 or 50,000 bucks, now you're earning 90 or 100,000 bucks. And good for you. You get a dignified life. You're earning more money. You know what the state gets? They get more taxes. So it's a smart investment. And that's what I would call good democratic thinking. Okay? That's where I am. Now, when you get to the far left, you're really talking about creating permanent dependency. Now, I think everybody in this room would say, hey, should you help out people getting over a bump in their life? You should help out people make themselves as valuable as possible. We have in New York City one of the great socialist things already. We have a $3 subway fare. Basic subway fare. You can go anywhere in the city for $3. It's not expensive. In London, that costs 15 bucks, 20 bucks. So you come to New York from Colombia, you come to New York from Pakistan, you come to New York from Egypt, and you're like, hey, for $3, I can go anywhere I want. It's great. The cost is much higher than that, but it's subsidized. So I think that's a lesson I think that the Republicans can learn from the Democrats, and the Democrats can learn from the Republicans, which is the Republicans can learn from the Democrats, but there are some government programs that are good. There are some lessons that Democrats should learn from the Republicans, which is you've got to actually deliver the services. You can't have, I've had this conversation with, there's There's a famous Rainbow Highway. Do you guys know where the Rainbow Highway is in New York City? The Rainbow Highway leads from the West Village to the West Side, today to the Manhattan Borough's president's office. So you have city council member gay, state assembly candidate gay, state senate candidate gay, Manhattan Borough president gay. That's great. I think it's an advance in our society that we can have that. It's another good thing about being Democrat is we're for the Rainbow Coalition. But we're not for urine, yellow, and shit, brown. Those are not part of the rainbow. And that's where the Democrats have to get their act together. That's what I was campaigning on, which is you've got to get back to programs that are common sense in terms of just pure governing. And then you've got to have programs that help the people advance, that are progress, which is the word that's the base for progressive. It is not progressive to keep people in public housing. It is not progressive to just give money to people. You have to find a way to tie it to something where they have a chance to improve their lives. And so with that, I get to tell my joke, and then you can answer questions, which is, every political person who's ever finished an election says, I really like to thank each and every one of my voters for supporting me. Well, in my case, I actually can do that because there's so few who voted for me. So, Danny, I'll let you point to who. You point, and then because I don't know who is who here.
What was your position when you ran on voter ID?
You should definitely have voter ID.
What are your thoughts on universal health care?
It's not a bad idea.
Canadian, British,
American. I think if people view it as an evil thing, it's we're almost there anyway. So.
Anybody else have questions? Mr. Marty?
If you don't have questions, okay, one more question, then I'll make a prediction about what happens in New York City in politics.
What do you think of the many illegal immigrants that Trump deported? What do you think about his mistake to rid us of illegal immigrants?
I think the Democrats took a bizarre left turn about 10 years ago, standing for 4 policies: socialism, Hamas, illegality, and Trump derangement. Now, that spells S-H-I-T. And the deportation thing it's the tail end of the mess that was created by the Democrats, which is if all these illegal people came in the country, they have to be, they shouldn't be here. Now, we should have an amnesty that we had with Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan. If somebody's been here for a period of time, let's say it's 5 years or 10 years, not the ones who came in 2 years ago, and they haven't committed any crimes, I think we're just running ourselves in circles and making life uncomfortable for them, and we should have some type of amnesty for them. But of course, the people who came in illegally, and they shouldn't be here. But the root problem, just to come back to, we're talking here politics, the problem is sanctuary city. So if you just think about organizing a country, you have a passport issuer, which is the federal government. Why would it make sense to have 19,000 cities make their own decisions about who should be here? You would end up in chaos. That's where we ended up. So it doesn't make sense that the federal government has a responsibility to say you should be here, you can't be here. And let's remember, as New Yorkers, this would be true if you were in Oklahoma, it'd be true all over the place. My brother was in the Department of Homeland Security after it was created, and the reason it was created was because of 9/11. Because before 9/11, Homeland Security was part of the Treasury Department because it used to be where they collected tariff revenues. Then you had the World Trade Center attack. God bless the souls of the families and the people who lost their lives. That was terrible. But that was carried out by so-called student visa holders who stayed in our country, and they killed 3,000 New Yorkers right away and 3,000 later. So we had no control of who was in our country. And that's why we created DHS, and that's why we created ICE. And another thing, if you go back over your memory over the last 20 years, which younger people don't have because they're too young to have 20-year memories, how many, in the Department of Homeland Security, they created emergency evacuation plans for every city because there wasn't an emergency evacuation plan on September 11th. There were people running around all over the place. So now every city has an emergency evacuation plan. I know that. And they have stopped. How about the guy with the shoe bomber? Or how about the person who's going to do this? The Department of Homeland Security and ICE has, stopped a lot of bad things happening to this country. So you have to have it. Now, should it be reformed? Could they do better? Yeah, they should probably do better. They can't be shooting civilians. I mean, that's a good place to start is don't kill any people. But you have to have them. They have to be reformed.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Socialism Democrats versus old school Democrats. After the primaries, we all know what happened here. Anybody might value endorsed Bellon. And I hear chatter in the ways that the Democrats are, even within its own party. What do you feel about that? What do you know about it?
I think I was one of the people who catalyzed that discussion. I was the first one to really use the word radicals to describe the far left. They call themselves the squad, and I call them radicals. I think that they have lost also. So, for example, they lost the Jamal Bowman seat. I ran against Jamal Bowman, and I called him out. And then when George Latimer came in, I stepped aside. Jerry Nadler is gone. Mika Lasher is nothing like Jerry Nadler. AOC, who will lose her seat in Congress by either leaving it or through redistricting, or I will beat her. She won't be there in 2032. I think what will happen in New York is, with respect for our previous speaker.
Did you say 2032?
Yeah, when we redistrict, New York is going to lose 2 seats, and at least one of them will be from New York, and it won't be Greg Meeks, and it won't be Richie Torres, and it won't be Hakeem Jeffries, and it won't be Mika Lasher, and AOC will be doing something else. So it'll probably be the 14th district will disappear, but maybe it should be on The View, but I think what will happen, with due respect to our previous speakers, either Hochul or Blakeman will win in November. If Blakeman wins, it's over for Mandami. And if Hochul wins, she doesn't really care what Mandami says after that, because she's on her way to being governor for 10 years. She has no massive scandals. She won't need the socialist vote anymore. And the people, there's 3 women running New York State right now. There's Kathy Hochul, there's Andrea Stewart-Cousins, and there's Julie Menon, who is a pretty sharp lady who's running New York City Council. And she came out early in the mayoral race, and after Zoran became mayor, said, it's a hard no on new taxes. We're not having any of this bullshit. So Zoran reports to 3 ladies, and after he went off to go see President Trump, they said, that's it, go outside and play soccer with the kids. Let the ladies run the business. So Zoran has a little bit of leverage on Hochul until October, when the polls are going to show that it's either Hochul or it's Blakeman. Maybe it's the 3rd guy, but in which case, I don't think Zoran can do anything, because we're going to have another $10 billion deficit. You might have a few things with buses, and you might have this, but I think the worst is over. Sorry, you have the microphone.
Yeah, so a big issue that we have here in the Republican Party is we have a big issue with the grassroots and the precinct mobilization. Now, the big thing that gave Mamdani a big shove is the precinct mobilization. That's why there's such a big upswell of socialist activity in New York City. So I guess mainly my question boils down to, is there any response from the Democratic Party with taking back their precincts or not?
Well, they fought hard against Christy Marmorato, who managed to win. She's a good candidate. She won a seat in the Bronx, and was only in there for 2 years, because then they spotted her and came back. I think that Republicans I'm a Democrat, so, and I've told this to the Republicans that I know, and I've told this to Curtis Sliwa to his face. Curtis is a terrible candidate. Terrible candidate. He's there for the matching funds. He's sucked down about $8.5 million of matching funds for 8 months of very pleasant campaigning. And he pays his guys and so forth, but he's
Doesn't pay them. Of course he pays.
in, why would you have a guy who didn't go to college run New York City?
Ooh, that's not good.
No, it is good. Hold on for a second. Let's have that conversation here. Give this guy a microphone, whoever he
I have
is.
a mic, I want to bring one in.
No, hold on.
I want to bring what you just said.
Let me finish the question.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I have been involved with hundreds of billions of dollars worth of businesses.
Yep.
The people who run businesses worth hundreds of billions of dollars are smarter.
Yes.
They are qualified.
Doesn't mean they have college degrees.
Let me finish. They all have college degrees. They all have master's degrees. And you don't put somebody who didn't go to college to run New York City, which is $125 billion. Before you go, my college thesis was on why New York City went bankrupt. So choose your words carefully.
I will choose them carefully, and entrepreneurship does not mean college. Business owners hire at master's.
That is a populist meme. It's a lot of
You mean like
bullshit.
Bill Gates who didn't finish college? You mean like Bezos didn't finish college?
Bill Gates dropped out of Harvard and his father was
he
a...
has no degree, thank you. He has no degree, thank you.
You're preaching kerosene to a fire for no benefit for your voters.
Yeah.
You have to be qualified to run a $125 billion business.
College degrees? Our founding fathers didn't have college degrees. Please stop, my friend. Smart, yes.
I'm not going to stop saying intelligent things. You're insulting the intelligence of the people of New York to run a guy for mayor who didn't go to college.
So what?
But that speaks to the Republican Party. That's why people don't like the Republican Party. Because you run terrible candidates.
No,
They just not have your knowledge.
Okay, but that's number one. Number two is the Republicans need policies. Curtis had no policies.
100%, agreed.
Then, pick up the trash. Okay.
I'm not fighting on that. I fought you on one thing, and only one. Everything was correct. The idea that you have
You got to give these guys some entertainment if they're going to leave.
I agree. I hope I gave you some. But what I want to bring up is you made a very valid point, which I love. You talk about the idea that Kathy Hochul is not going to be afraid of Mamdani. Thank you for saying that, my friend. The problem I have here with Republican Party is they always say the same thing. Hochul's a Marxist. Hochul's a communist. None of that's true. She's a Hochulist. She's not a communist. She will be a libertarian, a Republican, a Green tomorrow. She just wants to be in charge. She is kowtowing to Mamdani now, exactly to your point, because she has to. I wanted to reinforce, thank you for saying that Republicans stop believing that everyone is Democrat is a Marxist. Now, to be forward, Mamdani is a socialist. But the vast majority of Democrats just want power, and they will do whatever it takes to become socialists, to become Republicans. They don't care. Thank you for that, my friend.
You're welcome.
Agree, yes.
Danny, I want to give the other candidates a chance. I see Brandon. I see my boy Rinaldi back there. I don't want to. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Marty.
Okay, our next speaker, is someone you know very well, who has tried to get involved in the election process in many different ways. Will you please give a big welcome for Jonathan Rinaldi?
Thank you, I'm free. Yeah, so, what am I really supposed to say that no one's ever really heard? Like, I'm just some guy who grew up on Austin Street, who went to 101, who said, I'm gonna run for office. I told my kids, I looked them in the eyes, I'm gonna run for office, I'll make a change. That's why I did it, that's it. There's just nothing else to it. I was able to do a number of things. I ran as a Republican. I ran as a Democrat. I learned how to do court challenges, and I threw my candidate off the ballot. And we did that in large part without any county representation. I did it pretty much, I won't say alone, but this is people that help, but pretty much we did it and we can do it. And That's what made me dangerous. Because, our speaker in the back over there, Mr. Larry Sharpe, said I matter, right? I matter. I'm a rebel, I think, sometimes. So after Election Day, the primary, which I ran as a Democrat, didn't do very well, of course. However, I was able to talk to everybody, and that's the important thing, being over here. You got to be able to talk to people without them losing their minds. The day after primary, I got picked up by the DA's office. They arrested me outside my building, charged me with fraud for my social media posts. So just let that sink in for a second, because if you find me the man, I'll find them the crime, right? The metadata that they were able to get, okay? Every single text message, every single email, every single post, keystroke, right, is available. Pie charts, analytics, okay? Don't think that it's not. Every single person you message, anything you delete, anywhere you go, how did they know where I was? Doesn't matter. Blanket warrants, okay? Just ridiculous. But, I'm not going to say much on it because I'm still in the process of the case, but it's a constitutional issue here. It's a First Amendment issue. There's some cases I'll just reference real quick. There's under United States versus Alvarez, which political speech does not lose First Amendment protection. There's Coles versus Bonita, struck down California's political deepfake restrictions. The Bellon v. versus Lopez, Hawaii's Act 191, ruling that political parody and digital modified media lie at the absolute center of First Amendment protections. So yeah, rights are like muscles. You got to exercise them. And you got to go out there, and if you're running a race, you're not running to get on the ballot. We're fighting these people. We're fighting them. They're dirty, I'm dirty. Whatever they do, I do. And I do it better. And I pissed them off, and now they're doing this to me. But in reality, even the New York Times said that my case is a landmark case. Because if they are going to be able to go through your social media and charge you for your campaign, that's very serious business. That's dangerous. See, I never took any public money. I refuse to touch it, because God forbid I did, I'd be ridiculous. Because you have to do what the public money people tell you, the CFP. And if you don't, then you're in a real world of hurt. You think I'm in a world of hurt now? God forbid I took a penny from these people. Okay, so, and I did that specifically. Why I didn't fundraise? Well, the reason is because I was pushing the envelope, because we're supposed to. Because that's what our job is. That's our right. That's what we have to do. And I did it, and I did it well. But it uncovered things. And it uncovered that our data, number one, is completely open. Completely open. Okay. Whatever, if you guys are cool with that, no problem. We're not like Europe yet, where they'll find a social media post and show up at your door and arrest you. Because quite frankly, if they're able to put me in jail for this, that's the precedent now to arrest each and every one of you. You show up at a meeting, guess what? They're good. And it's scary because, I say this and you're like, oh, it's crazy. It's conspiracy. Well, it isn't, because they just did it to me. For what? For running for office? Really? Because I was able to get on the ballot by myself, and I was able to change parties, and I was able to get in the newspaper? But hey, listen, I'm going to fight it, and if anybody wants to help me, then this is a constitutional case. It just is. So that's it. That's my story. Yeah.
So my question to you is that in regards to your social media posts, did you say anything false or misleading? Because false statements are not protected by the First Amendment freedom of speech. And the New York State Constitution is written that if you make false statements, you can get prosecuted for that. So did you make any false statements or misleading statements? Because I remember when you gave a PowerPoint presentation here, I brought this up in the past, that if you make false statements, that would not be protected under the First Amendment.
Right, I'm just going to reject your premise entirely, because, quite frankly, it's a campaign. I'm allowed to say whatever I want. And that is the First Amendment. It doesn't matter. I can say whatever Mondami promised free buses, and now we got ticket agents in the Bronx kicking families out the bus. Is that a lie? Does that mean he's got to be indicted? No, I don't think so. But whatever, dude. We have a First Amendment right, and that is protected speech. And political, there's nothing in the guidebook against what I did, if I did anything, because I don't think I did anything, but all that stuff per the cases I just read to you, which were federal cases, were thrown out for being... You're saying AI, if they're charging you with artificial intelligence, and AI does not create fraud, and it doesn't create anything fake.
Artificial intelligence like ChatGPT has been shown to create, hallucinations.
Hallucinations are false statements. So if you use hallucinated statements, you might be charged for that, and that will not be protected.
Like I said, if you guys want your social media posts to be available for prosecution, then watch what happens to me, because if they arrest me for that, then you're next, bro. Like, you really are. So, it's what it is.
Any other questions of Jonathan?
Oh, by the way, let me say something. I am a recipient of bail reform. So as of recently, I am very much in favor of bail reform. Because, let me tell you something, okay? I didn't have to go to Rikers, okay? And there's 501c3 organizations that are there to help you with all the social services. Because let me tell you, we were in here complaining about social services for other people. They're there for us. They're there for us. And you guys need to learn how to go and get them, because they are there for us. Yes.
There we go.
My second question is favorable to you. Have you reached out to the ACLU? Are they defending you? Because this is a First Amendment landmark case. The ACLU is known to fight everything for First Amendment. I know that there was a case in which a man was accused of threatening a woman, some semi-celebrity, and the Supreme Court of the United States ruled 9-0 in favor of that. It was Colorado versus, I forgot what it was. So, have you reached out to the ACLU to help defend your case?
Have you ever tried calling the ACLU? Listen, I'm doing whatever I can, right? I mean, it's like, there's really so much I can do. I have people helping me, but if you know somebody there, by all means, I need it. You know what I'm saying? Listen, try calling somebody off the internet. It doesn't work that well. But like I said, if anybody knows, then let me know. Yes, Isaiah.
Thank you for joining us from your jail show.
You're welcome.
Can you please describe how Rikers was, if you received no cash bail, and any other part of the detainment process?
Well, I didn't go to Rikers. I went to Central Booking. So what they did was the DA picked me up. They put me in their little holding cell in the DA's office and took me to Central. And then that's where they processed me and then officially charged me. But bail reform, if there was no bail reform, they would have put me on a bus to Rikers. And believe me, nobody wants to go there. Okay? Because it's Rikers. It's not a good place.
They didn't hold you on bail at all. It was your bail.
No, they were just like, all right, I'll sit. But they did. I mean, listen, they took my phone. Like, I don't have my phone. And I have to go to supervised release once a week. Oh, but the other thing is that they arrested me the day after the primary, right? They didn't realize that I am the first and only no Kings candidate in the country. Okay, I'm on the independent line as a no Kings candidate because there are no kings, but there's also no legacy establishment political dynasties that use the system to punish their political enemies. Let's not forget that, right? So that's it, man. That's my story. So
I'll
let you know what happens. You know, hopefully I won't go to jail.
Okay, next we have President Castro, who's running a 38th open seat. There's no very good chance of winning. Conservative and a couple more third-party ones. That's the culture so far.
Appreciate it. How's everyone doing today? Good? Excellent, excellent. All right. Well, I don't know if I have to say hi, but my name is Brendan Castro. I'm the Republican candidate for State Assembly District 30. It's an open seat this year. This is a seat that I ran in back in 2024 where I got around 40%. This year, I'm back. It's an open seat. Just last night, so this Democrat primary, I was trying to find out who my opponent is. And for weeks, it was a statistical tie. Only 2 votes were separating them. One was a Bernie Sanders, Diana Moreno-backed a socialist candidate. The other one was an establishment Democrat candidate backed by the Crowley family. And this was the only assembly district that did not go outright DSA. Explains why I got the decent margins that I did during my first time, raising less than $10,000 against an incumbent. But Last night, Patrick, which was, he is the establishment candidate, was ahead by 7 votes, and it's officially finalized. So he won the Democrat primary. That's who my opponent is. But what I have is something that I want to reference back to what Larry Sharpe was saying, a coalition. I am the coalition candidate. I'm the independent voice for Western Queens, building a common sense coalition of a lot of the local leaders, ethnic leaders, candidates, people that have won on both of the parties. I was endorsed day one by Democrat, former council member Robert Holden. I've been endorsed by Andrew Yang's independent party, the Forward Party, the only candidate in all the 5 boroughs to get that backing, despite the Democrats and the other people in my frame. Oh yeah, there you go. Good. So I'm the only candidate to be backed by the Forward Party. I'm endorsed by Republican Assembly Member Lester Chang, and now that the results have finally come out, we can announce more, which I'm not going to spoil, but you guys will be shocked, but we have a lot more to be coming out. But the whole purpose is that for a long time, the Republicans that have run have campaigned on an endless list of no. We start from no to socialism, no to Democrats, no to City of Yes, and it goes endlessly. Now we can agree with a lot of those things, but what we need to show voters is a positive vision forward. What is my positive vision forward? My positive vision forward: safer, cleaner streets, quality schools, supporting merit-based education programs, which is very popular inside of my district too. Infrastructure. While everyone talks about housing, the problem with the GOP side is they're saying no to housing. Now, how can we talk about that without just outright saying we don't want to build more? Everybody agrees we want to protect the character of our communities here. It's an infrastructure first policy platform that talks about the crumbling infrastructure that we have. You want to freeze the rent? Well, you're talking about nitrate here. It was the worst. The city is the worst landlord ever. They cannot even control their own. So how are they going to control private residents? Half of my district, especially below the Queens Boulevard line, happens to be landlord. My family also happens to own property. They own property in PA and here. But it's all about the responsibility. Okay, I'm the son of Ecuadorian immigrants. My grandparents came here in 1977. So they were never spoon-fed anything. There was no silver spoon. They earned every single penny that they got. That is the American dream. Without them, I would not be standing here now. That is the truth. So we want to promote that message, but we do not do that with what the far left is saying now. Now, the reason why the socialists are doing what, and I've been saying this for years, they put up pretty good candidates, they are media-trained candidates, but they have their own positive message. Now, I'm the only Gen Z candidate running in the entire city. I'm only 26. When I ran back in 24, it was a year after I graduated college. I know Marty was saying about the college degree. I do have a college degree, of course, but I could just as easily not have had one, and we wouldn't have had somebody running against an incumbent there and running again for an open seat. So I think it's about time we start appealing toward different groups that not only the Republicans, but any insurgent candidate has not been able to do for a long time. And what we saw on June 23rd is the invasion of the Democrat Party by their base. The reason why I bring that up, because this is a two-party state. But what we're seeing now is that a lot of the elections are decided by the primaries. And now because we have the DSA, they're going to be relevant for at least 2 or 3 more cycles. So any conservatives, moderates that want to run in those parties are going to they're going to be the laughingstock. You are going to lose. So you have to coalesce either behind the independents or find ways for it to be an open primaries. If my district was an open primary, I would have won that primary. The Republicans were not allowed to vote. The Hispanics have record low numbers, Chinese have the record low numbers there, and my base, which had come out decently, they didn't even come out that much. This was one of the lowest turnout primaries, at least in my assembly district. People were barely even talking about it. I would have won that primary regardless of the party that I was in. But this is a close primary, and until that is, the DSA is going to keep on having their way, and the only way to fight back is during the general election. I don't even tell myself, or a lot of voters, that I'm the Republican candidate. Now, I'm on four different party lines: the Republican, Conservative, Arts and Culture, and the Reform Party line. I would have actually joined yours, Larry, but timing, So I would have been also the coalition candidate. But that's what we need. So because of those, depending on where I'm at, I can tell people, I agree. I don't like with a lot of the things that Trump is doing now. You want to run in New York? Well, then if you want to profess to everybody how much you love what the administration is doing, you're going to get laughed at everywhere. I'm sorry. So we have to appeal to a lot of the moderates here. We have to build a coalition. Now, while I might not agree with a lot of what the administration is also doing, a lot of people don't like Zoran. So the only way as a candidate, if you want to be viable, not only viable, is what I actually believe, because I hate having to LARP or having to lie. If not, then I would have just straight out of college. Why not just switch to Democrat? My life would be so much easier, but I would have found myself now at a primary because I would have won and gone already. So you have to play the long-term game, which is what I've always been telling people. You know, I have a lot more years left in me, but we have the opportunity to flip this seat. And I have the policies to do it, I have the backing to do it, and I know for a fact that we can make an upset this year. Patrick, I want to talk about him a bit. He is the nephew of former Congressman Joe Crowley. That's the same person who lost to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I actually have an easier time saying that than AOC, but probably because I'm Spanish. But he lost to her. And he could have probably won, but what we saw is that she was the pioneer of their populist wing, and it's been growing for such a long time. And we've been asleep at the wheel for so long. But now, the establishment, the Crowleys, are trying to come back with this seat. His cousin, former council member Elizabeth Crowley, lost to, who endorsed me, Democrat council member, former council member Robert Holden. So this is a story that we're going to tell. They both lost, and they're going to lose a third time by another Hispanic, but by a Republican, me, by the name of Brandon Castro. So we are going to take back this seat. We can be potentially the only true Republican flip, at least in Western Queens this year. Because what we saw, DSA, it was a clean sweep. And this is the only district that didn't go outright DSA. So we're surrounded north, south, east, and west. Even the non-controversial incumbents lost. So you want to make change, you can try and primary them, you can try and caucus with the Democrat Party, maybe on the local district leader level, but beyond that, you're going to lose the primaries. They're already thinking about who's going to primary Patrick, not even realizing, there's a good amount of people that know that I'm the general election candidate, but they're already trying to think, how can we primary this guy? He could never run for any higher office, could never run for state senate, could never run for borough president, could never run for mayor. That's the old guard. That type of politics is dying. You're hand-fed a seat chosen by the Queens County Democrats, and he doesn't have an actual, real, loyal base. Some of his family lives there. His very same address is where all the Crowleys live, including the former Congress member. There's a direct link there. And then that's it. He's just a standard, good jobs, inclusivity, whatever copy-paste lines, I could do that just as well, and I would be the most talented politician, most talented Democrat of all time, but I don't want to do that. I want to stay true to myself, and I can still do that, winning as the Republican, conservative, arts and culture, and reform party candidate. And if there's anyone who can, Castro can. Thank you, everybody.
Do you have any questions for Brandon Castro? He has the slides on the table, you're welcome to take them. Go ahead. Harris?
It's going to be a good question. It's possible. By a lot. By a lot.
Under the New York State Constitution, gambling is illegal. However, there have been opening of casinos. One of the things I noticed when I was trying to petition in Manhattan was that there was strong opposition for casinos. What are your thoughts on casinos being open? Do you support or oppose opening casinos?
I'm strongly against opening them. I've actually been campaigning on this since 2024. It was, for me, what I had prioritized was the amount of crime and the quality of life concerns that it's going to bring to the neighboring communities. That's going to be neighboring parts of Flushing, parts of Corona, which is going to go part into my district too. There's already lots of crime. There's the sex trafficking going on there. There's the garbage dumping, illegal vending. Like, I could list 20 things. I could probably say inside of my sleep what's going on there. And that's only going to get worse. They're going to claim that this is going to be bringing money. That's kind of like the defense for the people trying to play defense that don't have the popular stance of being against the casino. The ones that are pro-casino are like, oh, you know, but it's already open there. It's going to be bringing money and jobs. Yeah, well, is that what we really want here? You could build multiple other things there that would also bring money, funding, jobs. Well, it's going to, the amount of crime that's going to keep on spreading around, I think that was the number one thing for me. I do not support gambling. I think it's a very dangerous culture. Well, when people are adults, they can do as they please. I just oppose building that here. Much like any other things, we should focus on the local issues first, support and strengthen our community so much more that we can actually have a positive conversation rather than a polarizing conversation about opening them. Yeah. I think you have to follow up.
It's not a follow-up, it's a different question.
Sure, that's good.
A lot of people bring up local law 97 regarding changing of the gas to electric. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, that's something that I definitely have to read about more. I'm largely opposed to it. I'm largely opposed to it. I'm not a big, one-size-fits-all solution. Depending on the type of problem, perhaps. But usually most of those types of policies, this is what's been dominating the Democrat Party here. This is what's been dominating the New York City politics, just like the city of yes and all of these things. Largely, I'm mostly against the one-size-fits-all policies, such as local law exception.
Thank you, Mr. Castro. So you be the first Ecuadorian, but also Patrick Martinez be the first Cuban who run for this seat. Are you able to do some balloting or participate for the next 3, maybe 4 months until for the general election? How do you make sure you're the first Latino person to be in office?
Well, I actually want to be the first one. The first one is by the name of Isaiah. Can you remind me the name? The name of the first Hispanic elected. This was in Spanish Harlem.
Oh, this was Kevin Badillo 100 years ago. Kevin Badillo.
Is it? It's someone Oscar Garcia Rivera. I think is the first one. Technically, but you are right. Yeah. He was elected back in the 1920s.
Oscar Garcia Rivera Sr., yeah.
Oscar Garcia Rivera. So he was elected back in the 1920s, and he was the Republican. He won as a Republican, but he had an independent party line, the American Labor Party, which is what my ideal was by bringing the Arts and Cultural Party and the Reform Parties alive, so people can coalesce behind a Republican candidate under different sets of policies and different sets of values. Now, that's where, we want to knock on $50,000. I've already qualified for matching funds. We should be getting that payment by the end of this month. So I'm not just asleep at the wheel. There's a lot of other candidates and such, but we're actually doing something. Every day that I didn't have work, I'd just be calling people, emailing people, email blast, calling 50 to 100 people on a daily basis. Can you help to contribute to my cause? So I took this seriously. I was like, if I'm going to run again, I'm going to make sure I give it my very, very best shot. It's about knocking on those doors. Some people, I was born and raised here. I went to public school here. I graduated from a community college. And what I'm going up against is someone who's handpicked, has a silver spoon, whose brother was, I believe, the chief of staff and now a worker for Eric Adams, whose cousin is a former council member, uncle is a former congress member. That type of politics in the Democrat base is dying, and I want to make sure every door that I knock on, no matter who it is, if I have to knock on 20,000 doors myself, I knocked on 19,000 back in 2024, they will all hear that very same message. And I'm the loudest person. I don't even need a mic. Everyone can hear me here. So when I'm speaking on a block, they can hear me. Somebody on the second or third floor will be able to hear me, and they're going to be hearing Patrick Crowley versus born and raised here, son of Ecuadorian immigrants. So that's what the real story is. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Ronald. Go on.
Hey, Brandon Castro, do you think one day you'll be running into Ilhan Omar?
Huh?
Do you think one day you'll be running into Ilhan Omar?
Into or against? Into. I've never really seen her here. Wouldn't be surprised if she wants to, come out. But I'm still thinking like nobody. Not many people care about the Republican candidates. It's our job to earn the press. It's our job to knock on those doors. We've been doing the social media, because if you don't do any of that, they're never going to talk about you. They're not going to come out for me. They probably already think it's a wash for Patrick, not knowing. Just look at the primary. He won like 7 votes. Usually they get 70, 30% margins there. Usually it's like an incumbent there. They can make that case. But considering it's an open seat, I've been battle tested before, and I have the bipartisan backing. But I don't think I'd be running into her, but I probably would avoid her anyway.
Any other questions for Brandon before we go to the next speaker? Okay, the next candidate. Okay, thank you very much, Brandon.
Thank you.
Is Ruben Cruz. In this case, he is running against the ESA candidate.
Yes, that's right. You have the whole story to tell, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let me get in the right position. Hey guys, what am I doing here? Ruben Cruz, running for state assembly, right next door to Brandon. I want to acknowledge that longer than I've known Daniel, I've known Larry Sharpe. 2020, you were really inspirational. I don't know if you remember Brianna Coyle. She's out,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Ohio?
Yes, she is. She's doing great. She was really inspirational to me with her enthusiasm and knowledge to someone so young. So I just want to acknowledge that. I'm running in Richmond Hill, Ozone Park, Woodhaven, Glendale, and Ridgewood. Now, Ridgewood touches the DSA base. I grew up all my life in Woodhaven, Ozone Park, Richmond Hill, and Ridgewood, not Glendale. So I'm 55 years living here. I'm a dad. I'm on my community board. I'm on the board of the NYDC board that allocates monies for youth in crisis in our area. There's a part of Ozone Park that has children so far below poverty level, it's the lowest in the nation. Can you believe that in Ozone Park in Queens, we have kids that are poorer than any other kids in the nation? That blows me away. It's something we're trying to work on. And I am really involved in what happens when you walk out the door. My campaign is not about these big issues that we talk about that are important. But what can I really do today? What I can do is I could say we've got, and I counted, and I'm still counting, over 1,000 potholes. I know someone said that we filled 100,000 potholes in the city, but they seem to have missed Queens because we have a hell of a lot of them. I looked at studies about trash and crime in our area. There's a direct correlation between crime and trash. The cleaner our streets are, it's been documented that there's less crime in those areas. Around the time of the pandemic, almost half of our sanitation staff was fired. Half. Half of the people cleaning our streets were let go. And I know a lot of you noticed that we used to have enclosed large trash bins that disappeared overnight during the pandemic. And we wound up with these wire bins, talking about the fact that we need to cut down on the rat population, and yet we made it more accessible for rats with less people to pick it up. Now, this is not the job of an assembly member, trash cans. But I can make it my job. I can work on grant money to get us trash bins that compress. Now, we know that there's a plan out there now to take up our parking spaces with that. But I want, with the MTA, along all those routes, to have 4 garbage cans that do the compression at each street corner. That's 4 trash cans per corner instead of the 1 or 2 that you see right now. If we can do that, people will get rid of their trash, we'll have cleaner streets, and I believe lower crime. So I'm working really locally. This morning I spoke with the district manager about what our needs here. Look, the DSA shocked the heck out of everyone, including the Democrats. I posit that it's not us against the Democrats, it's the Democrats against the DSA. So hey, I think our moderate Democrats and the Republicans have some serious talking to do. I can get 25% of the vote right now in my district, but we have conservative Democrats, homeowners, that I think we can turn over. The last thing I want to talk about is just something for all of you here, for every one of us. We know that there's deed theft in our state. It's been going on forever. Forever, forever. My mom was the victim of it. There was a couple in Woodhaven that were stealing public property like crazy. It's still happening now. Now, there is a law to protect you from deed theft. It means that if you're the victim of deed theft, you can go to court and fight it, and they'll help defend you, but that doesn't affect anything like your credit. Your credit is still going to get shot to hell. So what I have on my palm card right here, and you can just look it up yourself, you can go online and look up your building and have a text or an email sent to you if anyone messes with your deed. My card is also really cleverly done, so it appeals to children. This is my message. and this is my whole message about protecting your house, because I think that's more important than this campaign. If you believe in this, then you believe in me, and you like to have a little flat Ruben just to hang out. It looks great in restaurants, but besides the point, really, protect your homes. Smart people, rich people, they put their homes in a trust. Is that proper? That's how you protect not just your wealth, but your family's future wealth. Put your homes, your values, your valuables, whatever you want to call it, into a trust so that your family's protected and you're creating a legacy for them. That's all I have to say. Thank you all. Thank you very much. You don't have any questions, right? I answered everything, except he's got good questions. And go ahead. My website is available in 10 languages. Who else does that? Right. Me and Brandon, we gotta go out there and kick ass. Mr. Holden also endorsed me, so that means he loves both of us. We're like brothers. Not really. Still, we're close. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Ortiz, for bringing that. So I'm going to bring you to the big three. One, we had to put a countdown clock in every bus shelter to make sure our rider make sure to how long when the bus ride, and put more traffic in the bus shelter, because we don't want to have, because you say you prevent any more littering for more rats from spreading. That's number one. Number two, how do we stop? How do we protect tenants from speculation and homeowners from defects and foreclosures? So that's number two. And number three, how do you put a stop against the mayor plan to put a homeless shelter in every neighborhood? Because every neighborhood gets a shelter, and we put a stop against them only being on our barrier plan from causing another disaster. So we don't want to put any more chaos in the first place.
Thank you. Did any of you ever see the show Glee? Any of you like that show Glee? Nobody. Really? Am I that old? Wow. Okay. There was this counselor, this school counselor, and she had pamphlets for everything you could think of. And I have one about the homeless situation. And just to remind myself, the controller noted that we spent $81,000 per person on a failing shelter system, yet we only spent $42,000 on our students. And I think that's significant. We have a shelter going up in Richmond Hill. I'm guessing it's going to open up in about a year. It's 127 beds. 127 times 81,000 is 10 million something, something, and something. You know that $10 million is not going to those homeless gentlemen. I would say if 25% of that goes to them, it would be a surprise. The first cost of building and everything, but those beds, the upkeep, it's not going to go to them. It's going to go to the guy who built it and to his daughter that he's putting up in Oxford and gives her a yacht and pays $300,000 for her wedding, but it's not going to go to us. So that's something that we should be looking at. Yes, our homeless need to be taken care of. We need to find a better way to do it, but right now, it's just partly a transit station from prison to nowhere to live, to a shelter, into another system, and going around in a circle. I have a friend who breaks my heart. He was a social worker with me. My specialty is elder use. So I used to help elders that were victims of crimes. If you're 60 and over and have been a victim of a crime that cost you monetarily, like a catalytic converter, or somebody stole your glasses, the state can reimburse you up to $2,500. How many of us knew that? Anybody? No. That's the problem. When our own state, our own public officials either don't know or don't care to share that information with us to help our own people. But I want to finish answering this question. It's a problem that we have, and my friend, he was a social worker, and he's been in a shelter, he has cancer, and he gets moved around. So the numbers are being played with, so he was in Manhattan, put him to the Bronx, and now he's in Staten Island, and every once in a while I get a call from him, but sometimes I can't find him because he can't afford the bill anymore. So it's a broken system. We can do much better than that, but right now, this plan was in place. I have to admit it was before Madami, but he's just the one who's, continuing it instead of saying, hey, something's wrong here. Let's not keep doing this. He's putting it up all over the place. There's a reason for it, because somebody's getting paid for it. There's too much money involved. $81,000 per person per year, and only $41,000 for our kids. That's my answer.
Let's see, I guess Jim Strawhorn has a quick announcement about the 50-50, which is partially going to cover the meeting. Go ahead.
Wait, last thing. This hat, I designed it myself. Look at the intricate design, the care taken for just a $1,000 donation to my campaign. It can be yours. This one even has my DNA in it. Thank you.
In other words, more. Okay. Go ahead. Jim, go ahead.
Okay, is this mic on?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay, so I would guess that there are some people here that would really like to buy some 50-50 raffle tickets, but have not, because the sales are kind of light. So the tickets are 1 for $5, 3 for $10, and 10 tickets for $20. So Daniel said he was going to help me process the purchases here. Where is it? Oh, there you are. So if you would like to buy some tickets, raise your hand. Daniel will bring the tickets to you and help you write your name on it, and we'll put them in the hopper. So we have wonderful prizes here. We've got 2 books, and we've got a mug, and we've got a couple of other things. And Isaiah wants to say something.
No, he's going to buy. Okay.
Are you going to veto something? Is that what
He's going to buy some tickets, he says.
Oh, he's going to buy some tickets.
Okay. Now, before I invite Larry back up there, just want there are 3 more candidates in this room, whether they want to say anything or not. Patrick Healy is running for state senate. Also, Harris Potty is running for city council. There is a city council race. Okay. George Marsh. Okay, I think he's left. Okay. Would you like to say a few words? You're going to wait till the next future meetings.
I haven't put my website yet.
Okay, so future meetings. Patrick Healy, would you like to say a few words? Okay. There was a student that was here earlier. I was hoping he would say something. There was a German, in this case tourist, but he's involved politically in Germany under the Young Union Party, which is center-right. He was observing our meetings, and I was hoping he would say a few words. He just left a moments ago there, but he was certainly pretty interesting. I love to have people that just come and observe our meetings. So Larry, would you come up and finish up the meeting? The next 6 minutes is yours.
Yes.
Okay.
I want to cover 2 pieces, everybody. 2 pieces, if you don't mind. Piece number 1 is education, and piece number 2 is housing. Education. The guy who was up here earlier said something that really bothered me. He said you shouldn't be running your city if you don't have a college degree. That is insanely ignorant. That is insanely wrong. Anyone who knows anything about entrepreneurs knows that entrepreneurs very often do not have college degrees. They do not have master's degrees. If you want to be an entrepreneur and run things, you hire people with master's degrees. That's a fine thing, but not how it works. How do I know that? I have taught at the graduate level of both Yale and Columbia. I know this personally. That's how it actually works. Why do I tell you that? Because our current education system is broken. The K through 12 model from the top of our state is broken. We drop $40,000 per year per student in this state. It is the highest in the world, and we're in the bottom 50% of all the states. It is a wrong answer to fix it. It should be K through 10, not K through 12. Once you're 16 years old, if you are able to pass a test, you have a high school diploma. Have a nice day, you are good. Sadly, though, our Constitution says we have to pay for grades 11 and 12. I'm okay with that. I'm going to copy the same model that I had when I got out of the Marine Corps, which is like a GI Bill. Every student gets $24,000, and at that point, 5 years to use it. Good luck. The students have many options if you're 16 years old. Number 1, you're a super smart kid. You're going to get a PhD, you're going to get a mastery, go to college right away. $24,000, go ahead and start, live your life. got a little advantage going to college, go. You're not that smart. You don't know if you can be a PhD. Maybe you can't go to college. You know what you want to do. Great. Go to prep school. Go to a 2-year prep school and be ready for college. Because here's the reality of college for most kids to this day. The average kid, it takes him 6 years to graduate college. You know that? The average. 6 years. Correct. The average. Not 4. 6. And if you're a male, you probably don't graduate. It's true. Males aren't graduating. Females are graduating now. That's the reality. So now someone's 24 years old. They got at least 50 grand in debt. And now for the first time, you may not know this, the unemployment rate for college graduates is higher than the unemployment rate for non-college graduates. It's the first time in the history of America for that to be true.
And many of them are underemployed.
And many are underemployed. Yes, you got $50,000 in debt, at least. You're 24 years old, you're a barista. Because you can't live out, and you can't move out of your house. Now, what we've been told for years, decades, don't go to BOCES, don't go into trades. We've been told that for years. Our guidance counselor told us, oh, BOCES and trades, that's for the dumb kids. That's for the bad kids. We've been told that for years. That's a lie. It's been a lie for 20 years. It's a lie. The reality of it is, the guy who goes to BOCES and becomes a plumber or a carpenter or something, they're 24 years old. They're making at least $75K a year, if not more, depending upon where they live in this state. And they have no debt. Who's the dumb kid now? Who's the dumb kid now? It's completely wrong. We should change that. So not just that, you go to prep school, so that when you actually go to college, you're ready for college, right? Or another option, go to a trade school.
Yes.
$24,000, go to trade school. Here's what I promise you. You will find trade schools popping up across this state. Guess how much they'll cost for 2 years? $24,000, because that's the government money. That's what will happen. You will watch it pop up everywhere. We changed this model. Kids will go to trades. Kids will actually go to school. Kids will go to college and actually graduate. Kids will go with a plan, not just go randomly. Things will change if we change this system. You will have happier kids, happier parents. I'll go one step further. You won't have violence in school. I'm not joking. I'm sorry. Did you say something?
No.
Oh, you won't have violence in school. Why? Because the kids will be in the schools they want to be in. And those who don't won't be. Go ahead.
Our time here is just about up.
Oh, I thought I could keep going.
See that clock?
Oh, sorry. Can I get his question?
No.
I can't get your question. Sorry, he doesn't like me. Sorry about it, he don't like me.
10 questions already.
Sorry.
Okay.
Anyways, thank you guys. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
I'm sure there are a lot more people here who still want to buy 50/50 raffle tickets. Yes? No? Okay. All right, anyway. Thank you, Isaiah. Very appreciative.
All right, let's see, are there any other comments you'd like to make before we adjourn the meeting? Yep, we're going to pull out the 50/50 tickets already. Well, actually, the first ticket that was taken out was that German politician that came and left. Okay, so I'll let you guys decide. I do have his email. If you want to, I'll email him and send him the money, the 50/50. I'll let you guys decide, or should I pick another ticket again for the winner, the 50/50?
Send an email.
Send an email?
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll do that then. The other ticket that was picked after, if you decide no, what's Isaiah's?
Yeah, then give me the money. I'll split it with him.
Okay, let me do this. I'll email him, and if he accepts, then I'll certainly, since he says he's leaving Sunday, I'll give the money to him before he leaves Sunday. If he says no, then we'll give it to Isaiah.
Great.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's 9:28. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Jim, anybody second it? Okay. Nobody second to adjourn the meeting? Okay, Joe Solomon. All in favor says aye.
Yeah.
Oh, also opposed?
I oppose.
The meeting is now adjourned. Thank you very much for coming.
I only oppose because I lost. I won the second round.
Thank you very much for coming.
Of course.
Danny, have a good night.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
You don't even ask. Yeah. Always welcome, you know that. And if you want to say something, you always want to say something. Good night.